this video, I am making these awesome candles. How absolutely beautiful are these? Let's jump right in. Okay, so to make these fabulous candles, I'm going to be using these molds, which were sent to me by Nicole Molds, and these are absolutely awesome. So it's essentially a jar, and this is the lid, and the lid is what's the sort of the highlight of this mold. And this one here that I have in my hand is Cupid mold. So basically I'm going to use my resin-crete to pour into these, because this is how I will make these candles, and I'm going to link the molds as well as the resin-crete and the discount codes for both of these in the description below. Right, so for this Cupid one, I'm most definitely going to go for a very lovey-dovey color. I think I'm going to go for pink, and I will try and do sort of like an ombre. I'm not too fast, but I'm just thinking I'm going to go with a darker pink at the bottom of the jar and then lighter at the top. But we'll see how this goes. So for now, I'm going to mix up my resin-crete. Resin-crete is an eco resin, and essentially you have the powder and you add the water, and the ratios are 100:30. So for every 100 grams of powder, I put in 30 grams of water. But yeah, it is pretty easy to use, and so that's me just mixing it up. And I'm going to add in my colorants and pour them right in. I'm going to pour in the light pink into the jar, a tiny amount, and then I'm going to keep adding more color to sort of make it darker and get that ombre effect. Whether that works or not, we'll find out together. Okay, so these are now in. I'm going to give them a little tap tap. I do have some resin-crete left, so I have these wing molds handy, little cute charm type molds, and so I'm just going to pour in my extras into that. So that was for my first one, and I'm going to reveal all of these at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Now for my next one, I'm going for the same base jar mold, and I've mixed up my resin-crete, and this mold is called Apollo. So the jar is the same, but the top lid is Apollo. And I might do a little bit of marbling with this one. So I'm mixing in a sort of like a tealy aqua color at first, which will be the majority of my color, and then I will add in my next color and do the marbling. But I think I'm going to keep the Apollo portion, which is the lid of the candle, the same teal color, and I'll do the marbling for the jar. I'm terribly sorry that I have my camera set up top down, so you can't actually get a good view of the lovely marbling effect flowing into the mold, because I love watching that stuff. That's like ASMR right there. But I'm sorry that's not quite visible in this video, but hopefully we'll get to see how it turned out once these are cured. Right, so that was for that one, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Now the next one is once again the same base of the jar mold, and the lid is Venus, and I've decided I want to do a marble, but it's going to be a white and midnight marble, and this time I'm just going to put in a couple of drops of the pigment into the white resin-crete and give it a little stir and pour it right in, and I'm going to keep the lid white. Okay, so all of my stuff is now cured and ready for unmolding. These are the extra bits of the pink resin-crete that I had, and these are so cute. These little angel wings and the little heart lock, super cute for charms. I'm sure I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with these later, but love them. And I hate wasting products. I always recommend having some spare molds around, so whenever you have leftovers, whether that's resin or resin-crete or any other medium that you use, you put them right into them and you've got yourself a little extra little goodie. Right, so down to unmolding. These are actually unmolding pretty easily. I am being cautious not to cause any breakage, but it wasn't too bad at all, nice and easy. And this is our Cupid one that we did. So this is the jar. That's the ombre effect. Could have been better. I can't say I'm in love with how that ombre turned out. I mean, it could have been better, but I still like it. And now for the Cupid, which is literally the favorite part. How amazingly cute and adorable is that? Love it. There is so much detail in these molds. I mean, absolutely love it. It's like a piece of art. Love it. So that's that. Moving on to unmolding the next one. So this one here is the Apollo one that we did the little teal and yellow marbling. I don't know why I went for that color combination, to be honest. I think I just wanted to see what turns out of it. And I quite like it actually. It's a bit unexpected to have the yellow with that color. So yep, that's what that looks like. I think it looks pretty rad. And for the actual polo, that is how that turned out. I absolutely love that color on that. Absolutely love it. So the next one was the Venus one. So this was the one where we did like the swirly marble core, the white and blue. So let's see how this worked out. So that's the jar. Looks pretty cool actually. A lot of marbling on this one. Loving how this turned out. And I didn't want to make this too busy, so once again I kept the Venus to be plain white, and this is what it looks like. So cool. I may have managed to get some blue on it though, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and clean that off. Just gonna use some alcohol wipes and it should wipe right off. But that is what this looks like. Love it. So this is another one that I did, which I probably forgot to film, but this was a gray one that I did. It's the David mold, and I filled these up with the silver cracks, and I think most of those have disappeared into the resin-crete, but that's all right. I still love the color. And now for the actual David. Let's see if there's any silver cracks visible in this one. Right. That is what that looks like. Love it. There's a few cracks. I don't know if you can see on the camera. There's a few right at the front there. And I'm thinking I want to kind of crack up the resin-crete on that front edge to make it look more rustic and give those cracks a little bit of an edge. So I might do that. But yeah, that is what that looks like. Once again, I absolutely cannot decide which one is my favorite. Right, now before we move on to make these into candles, I'm going to go ahead and seal these, and in order to do that I'm using this protected sealer from Resonate, and I'm going to go ahead. It's a spray, so it's nice and easy. I'm just going to spray it on the jars, and then once these are dry I'm going to spray it on the inside, and I'm also going to spray it on the lids. So it's pretty straightforward. I might not bore you showing you the whole thing, but yeah, make sure you do seal your eco resin pieces just to protect them from moisture and water and what have you. Okay, so these are now sealed and we are ready to actually turn these beautiful, gorgeous jars. I mean, you could keep them as it is. I mean, they are so cool as just like trinket jars or just jars in general. I mean, absolutely love them. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make these into candles. So I'm not an expert on candle making, FYI. That is just something that I do based on a kit that I got off of Amazon. I will link that in the description below. So no expert on this part of the process, but basically I got a kit off of Amazon. It has wax, it has sort of some of the basic candle making supplies, and so first thing I'm going to do is stick in my wick in there, and I'm going to use these wooden ones instead of the thread ones, just because I think these are pretty cool. I fancy these more. So I'm going to put the little sticky thing at the bottom, the double-sided sticky thing, and pop these into each one of them. And while I'm doing this, I have my matte wax melting, and I'm going to fragrance it. I'm not going to color it this time. I'm happy with the natural soy wax color. And I'm going to pour them right into these and let the wax set. Right, okay, so now my wax is all set up. What I did do, and I didn't film, is I decided to add crystals in 2 of them. So I added a little tumble of rose quartz into the Cupid one, and I added jade, I think, into the greeny, the tealy one. So it's time to now just cut off the wicks, and with these wicks, you don't want to keep them too long. You do keep them pretty short, so I'm just going to take my scissors and snap them off. And this is what they look like. Love, love, love. I did add a little candle safety, fire safety label at the bottom of all of these, and that might be something you want to consider if you are selling these, because I think it depends on which country you live in, but I'm pretty sure in most of them it's mandatory to, well, not mandatory, but you basically need to have a safety label on there. So I did that, and once again I got those off of Amazon. I can link those for you as well. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell me which one's your favorite, and go check out Nicole Molds. They have so many more fabulous molds, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.